for telling me. I appreciate that. So, people, it's Q&A Sunday for my pro fabulous makeup artist in the world, all over the world, all over the world. By the way, thank you for coming out every now and then. I know it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, some places, and I know it must be like, is this biatch kidding me? I will try to do some more in the afternoon, but I have been working, and so it's kind of hard for me to do afternoon. As I want to say scope because I'm so used to saying Periscope. Hey, welcome to my scope, but this is not Periscope. This is YouTube. So there you go. Hey, hey, beautiful. How are you doing? First thing, nice here. Thank you, Arby. Appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Leighton, how are you doing, sweetheart? Yes, people. So as I always say, this is Q&A Sunday because I really don't have a rant. Okay. I could have a rant, but I don't have a rant today. And today, guess what? Today, I don't have to yell at you guys because I have a mic. So I can actually speak in my YouTube voice again. I am so excited because before I was yelling because I wasn't sure if you could hear me, but now you can. Hey, Miss Brandy Page, how you doing, lady? Yes, beautiful people. So I am glad that we are all here. I guess I have to learn how to speak YouTube, even though I don't like to speak YouTube. But I will acquiesce. I am Deshawn Hatcher, makeup artist. I am here to help my fellow fabulous makeup artists just be a little bit better. And I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Sometimes there's a topic, and sometimes there is a Q&A session where you can just ask me any questions that you like. My specialty is now TV. I work in TV now. TV, fashion, beauty. I started out in film, but low budget industry films. And so if you're interested in any of those fields, please come on with your questions. So that's it, beautiful people. That's her spiel for today. I swear she's done. When I tell you, when I kid you not, that I literally was up here from like 5:30 on trying to get this whole system to work. This is why when you guys, not you guys specifically, because there's only seven of you on here, but when you guys, kind of, I don't know, when you guys kind of say to makeup artists on here, hey, can you do it this way, or can you do it that way, or I like your channel the other way, and it's just, I want you guys to understand it is a very difficult it's just a very difficult thing to set this all up. Even this is called talking head, what I'm doing right here. And talking head is even very difficult to set up for you guys. And so am I saying don't have a preference? Am I saying, don't request something? I'm not saying that, but sometimes it's the way that sometimes you guys come across, and it comes across a little rude. And it also comes across as if you don't understand the process on this side of the table. And so I just wanted, for me, if you were asking me something or you're asking somebody else for something, I don't mind. But sometimes, whoo, you people, Polar Patrol, hi. So beautiful people. This is, like I said, this is Q&A Sunday, all about you people. Do you think I was about to say, ask me a question. And Nicole, hi, Nicole. So do you think it's worth it to be a makeup artist / photographer? I am having such a hard time finding beauty photographers that I am considering becoming a photographer and doing it my damn self. Okay. There are many, I'm not going to say many because that's going to make it sound like, there's a lot. There's really not that many makeup artists that are doing that nowadays. Danessa Myricks is one who's doing it. And Rocky, I forgot, his name. I have his brush right here. It went right out of my head. Rocky's another one, her counterpart, the guy who makes the brushes, right out of my head. I believe Fidel is another one. There are a few makeup artists who are now taking their own photos and retouching them and putting them up. And that is fantastic. But you know what? They have trained a while to take photos. It's not easy. I know it seems easy, but it really isn't that easy. And it's yet another skill. And you, if you want to, sure, I don't see anything wrong with it. I take some of my pictures from time to time, but it is a skill. And just like makeup, how we always say people pick up a brush and now they're makeup artists. When you pick up your iPhone, you think you're a photographer. You get what I'm saying? So if you can do it, sure, go ahead. Why not? I don't see anything wrong with that. But remember, you have to study that just as much as you have to study your makeup. And so that's all. I don't see anything wrong with it, but it has to be good. And that's the point. It like, I see a lot of people saying, I'm a photographer, I'm a makeup artist / photographer, and I did this and I did that. And I look and I go, child, that's not that good. Okay. Because the lighting, remember, when you're doing it, you have to remember you're going to have to invest in a whole nother setup. Danessa has a professional setup. Fidel has a professional setup. They're not just running around with their iPhone. They have a pro setup. So that's something that I want you to realize, that you're going to have to invest in a real camera. You're going to have to invest in light. You're going to have to invest in a lot of stuff. So if you want to do that, I don't see anything wrong with it, but realize it is a skill that must be learned. You have to learn everything. So it sounds cool. It sounds really dope and cool. But again, it's a skill. I think sometimes, we see the end result of people's work, like a Danessa, and we go, oh, I could do that. Even I was like, I could do that. And then when I started taking pictures, I was like, oh, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So that's just something for you to think about. Yes, I think it's fantastic. I think, sure, I think if we're capable of doing it, do it. But I just want you to understand that what the outcome is a whole bunch of steps that go into it. All the photographers I know don't want to do beauty. They just want to do editorial. Well, there's editorial beauty. So there you go. So some photographers are better at fashion. What I mean by fashion, when you see me look around, I'm looking around for something to show you. Let me see. I have pictures here because let me see if I can. Give me a second. Let me go backwards. Yeah, these were options D for my wall. Okay, wait a minute. So, wait a minute. Okay. This is really good picture. Okay. So some photographers are very good at shooting something like this. Right? And within this, you can ask for beauty shots. Sorry. So within your shoots, you should say, I want a beauty shot, or you can say, I want several beauty shots out of a fashion editorial. So that's something to understand. That it's weird. I have a friend who's a photographer. He's an amazing photographer, but his beauty work is not the greatest. And so when we shoot when we shoot fashion editorials, his fashion editorial beauty shots are amazing. But basically what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, that there's a discipline to it. Some photographers can do beauty. Some photographers can do editorial and give you a beauty shot out of that editorial. It is up to you as the makeup artist to say, yo, give me my beauty shots. You might be missing the beauty shots. You have to ask for it. Sometimes they're so in their head, they're not thinking. You have to ask for those types of things. I know it's so expensive. That's why I'm like, should I? Or should I keep trying to find beauty photographers? My issue is the ones I reach out to either don't answer or they don't want to do beauty. Hey, Newbie and Princess. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, you're going to have to keep, I don't know how many people that you are reaching out to. Let me put these back. This is really big. Let me put these back. I don't know. I don't want to mess them up. Oh. Give me 1 second, guys. There. Okay, stay. Okay, so I don't know how many photographers you're reaching out to. I don't know what your work looks like. So if you're reaching out to photographers talking about, I want to shoot beauty with you, well, is your beauty beautiful? You know what I mean? Is it stunning for them? Remember, photographers will be looking at The photography first and the makeup second. So sometimes they're not moved by the photographers that you're working with. So they don't want to work with somebody who doesn't have good photographers. It's weird like that. Yeah, they're weird like that. But I definitely say you have to keep going. You have to keep hitting up photographers. You just have to keep going until you get somebody that says yes. You might even want to look into a school. I personally got my big break with my sister friend, Sarah, and I, because I saw something in her in school. I don't even know what it was. She had set up something on a message board. She posts her work on a message board. And I was like, oh my God, her work is so pretty. I want to shoot with her. And she was in school. And now she's a MTV Video Music Award nominee. You never know. So you might be aiming too high in terms of, I don't know what type of photographers you're looking for. You might want to go to school. And I don't know where you are, darling, but you might want to go to schools and find people who want to do beauty work and portraiture work, those types of things. Dainty, you are my educator. Thank you, Dainty. No worries. Thank you, Dainty, for coming. Firstly, thank you for this. I'm glad to be. Oh, thank you, Zara. Do I actually have to graduate from beauty school to become a makeup artist? No. Zara, no, you don't. No, you do not have to go to school. But I'm going to say this, okay, because I know there's a lot of self-taught people on here. I went to school, full disclaimer, you know how I am. I went to school for film, okay? Film is a totally different world. Film is nothing like fashion. Film is just completely opposite of fashion, okay? So I went to school for film. I am technically a self-taught person in fashion, okay? Now, what does it mean? It means that I don't know, how do you say it? I'm going to use another word. That was too big of a word for me. I have the ability to do really pretty fashion, beauty, makeup. Yay, right? But did that mean that because I'm self-taught in fashion, that I shouldn't have taken workshops and stuff like that? And so I want you guys to understand that I am a self-taught. I wear that like a badge, but I took workshops. You understand? So did I have to go to school for fashion beauty? No. But as I was coming up, I noticed that I was like, there's certain things I don't know how to do well, or I want to get my eye to work and train it a little better. I took workshops, okay? And when I didn't take workshops, I assisted. And then within those two worlds, my whole makeup life got way better. And I went from like what I thought was like a 6 to like a 9. I'm not a 10 yet. I'm still working on my winged eye. So no, you don't have to go to school. What's the best way to approach a photographer in a message? Professionally, Brandy, I don't know if you have that book back there, but if you do, that's my book. It's called Assisting Rules. Within that book, there is a letter. I keep telling people there's a letter inside of that book, and it tells you how it shows you the letter, but it also breaks down why each and every little thing in that letter is important. And the first thing that I will say, I will share this with you, you have to, and I say this all the time, and I know people are like, oh my God, there's Deshawn again with this freaking genuine crap. But it's true. You have to be genuine when you approach people. You cannot be me, 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 me. You have to look at their work. You have to love their work. You have to love their work. A lot of you guys will send out these messages and they're kind of blanket and bullshitty. Sorry. I'm trying not to curse on here, but sometimes when I go live, this is not like a recorded thing where I can just edit out my cursing. So please forgive me because I do curse. Okay. But sometimes it's just a little bullshitty, and we can feel the bullshit. And so that's the problem. You have to be genuine. If you see something in somebody's work, you have to tell them why. You have to tell them if it moves them. Moves you. You understand? That's how you get to these people. But a lot of times it's, I like your work. I want to shoot with you. That doesn't work. You have to remember they get a lot of They get a lot of emails. If you see somebody that you like, that person has probably been hit up more times than you can think of. And so you have to think about how can you stand out from that crowd. And one of the ways is to be genuine and to show an affection and and an honest approach to a person, not a form letter. And a lot of you guys like to do these form letters, or you guys are just can be very unprofessional. I cannot tell you how many emails I get with a "Hey girl, hey girl." I'm like, I don't even know you. Like I don't know you. Hey girl, I want to assist you. Let me know when you get a job. I get that a lot. It's like, no, that doesn't. No, no, no. That you can't talk to me. I don't even know you. You can't talk to me like that. So these are the things that you guys have to think about going forth, okay? You want to reach out to people in a professional, genuine way. And it doesn't mean that every single time you write to somebody, you're going to get them. It doesn't, I keep telling people, what was it, 1,244, I believe, emails I sent out before I got one assisting gig. And that's back in the day before Google and stuff. So you get what I'm saying. And I had really good letters. You get what I'm saying? So I want you to understand that. You just have to keep going. You have to keep reaching out. What's the best way? I just said that. I never thought to look at photography schools. Great. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Nicole. Oh, I don't know. It's like for me, it's like, I just love photography schools because the possibilities that are in there are amazing. Where do you think the next Stephen Meisel is coming from? Or the gentleman who just passed away. Oh God, I can't think of his name right now, but he just died. What a magnificent photographer he was. And so, will they be that? No. But I said this last week, if you train your eye to what is amazing, then you can see it in a student. And that's what happened with Sarah. I trained my eye to know what was amazing, and I saw it in Sarah. I saw it. And we grew up together. Like we're like sisters in this. We grew up together. We worked together for about 12 years before we separated because she went one way, she went more video, and I went more education, and I wrote a book, and so we just did it this way. But I saw it in her when she was in school. I saw the ability of what she could do in school, and I also knew it was only going to get better. Because remember, photographers are spending a lot of money to be photographers in that damn school. They're not going to waste $20,000. It's $20,000 a semester, or a year, I should say, for these high-end photography schools. You might want to think about that. So they're not playing around. And you, by the way, when you go to the schools, look at their portfolios. You are interviewing them as much as they will be interviewing you. You have every right to say, "Can I see your work?" You have every right to ask them questions. It is an interview, or maybe more of a conversation, you know? Make sure you have all your ducks in a row when you go to them. Make sure you have a portfolio you can show, and then make sure they have something to show you as well. Remember, this is all show. We're in a business. This is all show. So I want you to remember that. And don't poo-poo the ones who don't do fashion. They might do beautiful portraitures, and that's fine too, because you can get some beautiful shots from a portrait photographer, okay? Especially when you're first starting out. You could get some beautiful shots from them. So just think about all those little things. Sonny, hi, Sonny. So did I miss something? Yeah, but it would be faster and easier for you to go to a school than it would be for you to learn how to be a photographer. For real, straight up, like no joke. Like no joke. Hi from Russia. Hi. I'm going to say Maria. Maria. Am I saying it right? Welcome from Russia, my darling. I have no idea what time it is there. I sincerely hope it's not 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Megan for Seattle. Hey, Megan. Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Any more questions, you beautiful people? This is Q&A Sunday. This is all about you. I don't have a lecture. I don't have a lecture today. I don't have one. Okay. She's out of lectures. Oh, let me tell you guys, I will be at the makeup show, Chicago. Oh! So I'm going to be at the makeup show in Chicago. I cannot wait to get to Chicago. I cannot wait to meet the Chicagoans. So I will be there. And we're working on a meet and greet because I would love to meet you guys. And yeah, spread the word. I'll be in Chicago. I'm so excited. Next month, in less than a month, I'll be in Chicago. So I'm very excited. Very excited to meet you. Very excited. Oh, and I'll be bringing my book. I'll have some books with me. So I will be bringing some assisting rules. Do you guys have any questions about assisting? Do you guys have any questions about any questions? I don't know. Am I missing something? Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything you guys said. Okay, y'all ain't got no questions. Oh, wait, there we go. If you want to assist a really big artist, should I reach out to the agency or the artist? Honestly, I would honestly say both, because I remember when I wanted to assist not Sharon, but another really big artist. I initially was reaching out to her agent on a semi-regular basis, to the point where I knew I was annoying, but I didn't care. And when I say I joke, I always joke and say I was annoying. I wasn't annoying, but I was making sure that her agent completely understood that I really wanted to assist her. And I'm going to keep hitting you up, agent, until you tell this girl about me. Because, you know, so when I say I was annoying, I wasn't annoying. The lady was very sweet to me. But at the same point, it's like I didn't let up. In other words, a month went by, then I wrote. Then another month went by, and then I wrote. Then another one. I didn't care. I didn't care if I, you know what I mean? Like because once a month, I don't think is bad at all. It wasn't like I was hitting it up every day, but once a month, I felt like, just Sean, you just keep going. And eventually I did. And eventually that the agent was like, oh my God, if this girl keeps hitting me up, let me pass this information over to this woman. And sure enough, she did. And then she had finally looked at my website. And this took a while. This took about 7 or 8 months. Okay, this was not fast. It took about 7, 8 months for this agent to kind of get to her and say, Lord, would you please take a look at this girl? Because she ain't letting up. So it took about that long. And then around that time, I had gotten an offer, hey, I have a job. Would you like to assist me? It took a while, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Hey, Emma, thank you. London, hi. I love London. It's my second favorite city in the world. Love London. Do you like Instagram makeup artist type of makeup? Is really bomb artists out there. You know what? I know I sound like I poo-poo them. I really don't poo-poo the Instagram artists because it's artistry in its own right. But at the same time, I think for me, like I always say, if they are not makeup artists, then please stop calling yourself a makeup artist. That's my pet peeve. That is me being very nitpicky. But besides being, there's some amazing, listen, I said it last week or the week before, there are some artists that don't do what I say, okay? Who just literally legit went about their way of carving out this niche in Instagram for themselves, where they got the attention of celebrities. And then the celebrities are like, oh, they built up their following, right? And then they obviously posted beautiful work. And what else did they do? And then what they did was, like I said, they started having a really big following. And so celebrities know that, oh, gee, well, if this makeup artist has a pretty good following, then I'm going to let them come do my makeup. And so they became really, really famous to the point now we see them all over the place. And that's great because they are true makeup artists. I just have an issue with Instagrammers calling themselves makeup artists because it's just not the same job. I've already described that. I've already described what a makeup artist does in another video on this channel. So if you want, you can check it out. But there's a huge difference between me sitting here and doing my makeup, taking pictures and photoshopping them, and then, you understand, and then going out into the world and saying you're a makeup artist. It's just funky for me. But do I have respect for what they do? Yes, I do. I just wish they had respect for what I did. That's all. What's the secret of growing as a makeup artist? What do you think about? Okay, you asked me. Oh, so what's the secret about growing as a makeup artist? Just keep going. Just keep going. Get consistent with your work. You have to get out there and show your work. I'm an introvert. I know people don't believe me because I have a very big mouth, but I'm an introvert. I would rather stay home. Ask the boyfriend. I don't want to go out. I don't want to meet new people. I don't. Okay, it's too much for me. And so, but I did. I had to go out. And at the time, I had a book, not a little flippy, not a little, what do you call it? Not an iPad. I had an actual book that weighed about a good 10 pounds that I would lug around with me. And I took it and I showed everybody my book. And I networked my way into certain jobs. And I just made sure that I was present. And I also made sure that when I was on set that I was a nice person. Being nice shouldn't hurt you. If being nice hurts you in your gut, oh, I don't like being nice. This might not be the job for you. And so basically people would see that I was capable of doing makeup, but yet I didn't create any drama on set. I was an easygoing, fun to be around person. And that went along, that attribute, I guess, of mine goes a long way, goes longer than somebody who can beat the hell out of a face, but has a nasty attitude. I hope that makes sense. So all of those little things, having good work, having, shoving it down everybody's throats to make sure people can see your capabilities, making sure your website is up. Every single time you do something new, you should be posting new work, all of that. Okay. So that's how you keep climbing and climbing and climbing. See, okay, Nicole, what if I want to do makeup for a small celeb for a small celeb? I don't, small, like, I don't know, small? What does that mean? Small celeb. I noticed okay, you want to reach out to a celeb that is not famous. Like, we do list here. So A list, B list, C list, D list, F. Okay, F listers. So you're just noticing that there's a particular a particular celebrity that's a little funky. Okay, let's just say what it is. And you want to help them. Then reach out to their agent and see if you can help them. But again, is your work on point? Again, is your work on point? Do you understand if they call you for a red carpet event? Do you understand what that means? Do you? Do you understand? Can you do makeup in light? Can you do makeup for daylight, nighttime, indoor, video? Oh God, video and something else because I can't remember what it is. Can you do makeup for all of that? Can you keep it consistent all the way through? And that, by the way, what I just said, the daylight, the nightlight, the paparazzi shots, all of that, that's all in one day. Can you do makeup like that? So you have to ask yourself that. You have to be, and if you say, yeah, then I don't see any problem with you reaching out to a person and saying, oh, I'd love to do your makeup if you have an event. Remember, this is all about you networking. That's a networking situation, what you're doing, right? You're reaching out to an agent. You're reaching out to whomever. You might even be able to hit them up in the DMs. You know what I'm saying? If they're a small D-list type person, they might just be answering their own Instagram or whatever. So why not reach out? It can't hurt you. Zara, I have a full-time job, but makeup is a passion. My first job was a bridal, $30 bridesmaids. Maybe I'm trying to understand. And I still feel bad because I feel like it shouldn't have. Would you have charged anything if you were? Okay, so I think you're asking me. I have a full-time. Okay, so I know you have a full-time job. That's cool. So I think you're asking me, you charge too little? I think is, do I think you charge too little? It really depends on your skill level. It depends on, were they flawlessly beautiful or were they kind of like, okay, that would be kind of like a critique of mine to see if it's worth the money. I don't know. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes newbies, I used to charge very little money when I first started in fashion. I charged so little that a photographer friend of mine was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was working all the time. I was working, working, working. I was working almost, there was almost like 2 to 3 months in there every day. Honest to God, no joke. I worked every day, but I was making $50 to $150 a day. Okay. So we're talking like 12-hour days, and I'm up there making $50 to $150 a day, but I was hot. She was hot. And, my photographer, I wrote about this on my blog. It's Deshawn Loves Makeup. You just go on SeanHatcher.com and hit the blog, and there's a whole long story about it on my blog. But as I explained in the blog, it's just very much like I did not know my worth, and I didn't know how good I was until this photographer, Fidel, had pulled me aside and said, "What are you doing? Why are you not charging enough? Your work is beautiful. That is why you're working all the time, because they know you're a bargain." And so it depends on how beautiful your work is. If your work is really beautiful, then even out the gate, if your work is beautiful, even if you're a hobbyist and your work is beautiful, you can charge. If you charge 30 and I looked at your work and I'd be like, "Oh my God," I would say I would charge $150 for that. I might charge $300 for that. You understand? Sometimes it's not so much a seasoned artist. Sometimes it's just a skill level and what people will pay for. And if your skill level is so amazing, then why can't you be compensated more than $30? I hope that makes sense. Come back around if what I just said is like, what? Just okay. Okay. Ooh, strawberries. Oh, that's so cute. As a makeup artist, who would you go to if you were looking to be a part of a bridal styled shoot? Okay, strawberries. I'm trying to understand. Okay. I'm trying to understand. Is it for a magazine that you're trying to do it for, or are you trying to do it for an actual bride? I'm trying to understand. So if you can answer that for me, then I can put together a better answer. I'm just a little confused by that. Okay, let's see. Sony, will you be coming out with more products in the future? I don't know. We'll see. Where can I find that book that's behind me? Hey, Sean, you can find it at, excuse me, assistingrules.com. Assistingrules.com. Can I type in here? I'm trying not to touch anything because I finally got this thing set up and mess it up. Assisting, she can't spell her own, but assistingrules.com. Okay, so wow, that's what I need work on. Oh, you need to know what to charge, huh, Camille? It depends. There's a lot that goes into it, but like I said, part of it is how good are you? Because if you're amazing at it, if you're amazing at it out the gate, and you could do makeup like a Pat McGrath, and I'm not saying like a Pat McGrath with the kabuki makeup, and I'm not saying that, but if you could just do beautiful, clean, gorgeous makeup in the beginning of your career, then why shouldn't you charge for that? You should. You can get away with charging that, but remember, you have to have something to show. So either you go and you do the consultation, especially we're talking about brides. So let's say you go, you luck up enough to where you get a meeting with a potential bridal person, right? Let's just say that. Let's say they never asked you for a rate. These are all hypotheticals, by the way, because it normally doesn't happen that way. Normally people ask for price first, skill second. That's just normally how they do it. But let's just say for shits and giggles, they heard of you. They didn't ask you any specific questions about rate or whatever. Somebody passed your name along to them. You come in and you do a consultation and you just tear it up, honey. They look amazing, right? Then they say, "Well, how much do you charge?" At that point, if they're happy and they're elated, and let's say if you said the last person you charged was $30, how do they know that? They don't know that. So you could say 150 right off the bat. You understand what I'm saying? So again, but remember the hypothetical situation that I gave you, which is they don't know of you at all. You were able to get in there and show what you can do. A lot of times, if you can get into a person and show what you can do, instead of talking about price all the time, you can probably slip in there and really raise your prices. Strawberry, either I would love to be featured in a magazine, but right now I'm assisting for actual brides. I want to attract some. Okay. So you want to do like brides magazines. Okay. Well, those aren't brides. Those are real models. So that would be you turning into an editorial artist. I have been in brides magazine myself. I've been in a couple of bridal magazines. I've had a couple of covers of bridal magazines. Yeah, that's more fashion. I know it sounds like it's supposed to be brides, but it's not. It's really fashion. And that's just another aspect of fashion. Yeah, you would have to just create a good portfolio and then work your way over to the editorial world. That's what that is. I've also had some brides of mine that have wound up, oddly enough, I don't know how they do it. Some have wound up in Harper's Bazaar, some like full page spreads. I'm like, how did that happen? Okay. Wasn't like I was hired by Harper's Bazaar, so you understand. My bride and her wedding was featured in Harper's, or I had another bride. She was featured in New York Times, and then I had another bride. So you understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't hired by the New York Times. I was hired by this bride, and her work and my work, I guess, wound up in these types of places. That can happen as well, but that's not an editorial, and that's technically not an editorial credit. I don't claim those to be editorial credits. Like if you see anything, if I say Harper's Bazaar, it's because I personally have been in Harper's Bazaar with my work, some of my beauty work. I've done editorial spreads for Harper's that way. But when I do like offshoots and my people are in these big time magazines and stuff, I don't really list that. That's just what I don't do. I don't list that. I just go, okay, whatever. Because I feel like I wasn't hired by that publication. So whatever. So let's see. Hey, type the website again? You mean for assisting rules? Camille, is that what you mean? I don't know. I like more dramatic looks though clean looks I know how to do, but it's not necessarily what I want to do. Okay, Camille, it depends on what it is that you want. I mean, I hear the type of makeup that you don't want to do. That's cool. But the question is, what are you trying to do with your career? Maybe next time we'll do what are you trying to do with your career kind of conversations, because it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. That's it. Are you trying to be an editorial makeup artist who does funky, avant-garde, cuckoo crazy makeup? You could be. We have several of them. We have an Alex Box that does amazing funky makeup. We have all these different types of makeup artists that do really cool, whacked out, and what I like, whacked out makeup. So if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with it, but it has to be amazing. It has to be spectacular. You have to have the right photography. Everything has to be right in order to do that. It's a team effort to do that type of work. So it depends. I don't know. Thanks, Zara. Cool. Yeah, head on over to the blog, but go to DeshawnHadger.com first, and then it'll take you over to the blog. It says the blog down there, and somewhere in that blog, there's a story. Sony, do I think it's unprofessional to bring samples? Not necessarily. No. It depends. Are you traveling? Light? A lot of people bring like smaller. Like I depot, we all depot. So I can bring, I'm looking for something that I have here. I don't have anything on my desk that's small. But I have, this is Embryolisse. And so I have every now and then taken, squeezed Embryolisse out of here and had a little small container of it. It's all different ways of carrying stuff. I mean, it depends. Honestly, it depends. Does it look tacky? That's up to you. Some of the jars are beautiful. Like if you get like some of the poo-poo stuff, some of those little minis are gorgeous. Yeah, put those out. But if they look crappy and tacky, It's all about tacky. Are you tacky, Sony? I don't think you tacky, but I don't know. You get what I'm saying? What does it look like? I don't know. Jamaica. Okay, so being in the Caribbean, there is no magazines for beauty makeup. I do personal makeup for bride. Oh, cool. But I could be a part of the overseas market. Yeah, I mean, if that's a good point. Sean, ain't no editorial over here. That's a good point. There are ways for you to you know what, Dainty? You would have to, if you want to be a part. Now, remember that there are. Listen, I did a shoot in Jamaica. In Jamaica, I did a shoot. I did a shoot in Jamaica. I was flown to Jamaica, and I did a shoot. But there might be times that there might be some production companies. If you want to do this, it's up to you. But there are production companies all over the place that you can just let them know that you're physically in Jamaica and that you're an amazing makeup artist. And whenever you need a makeup artist and you might be coming to Jamaica, you might want to let them know that you're there. That's work for you. That's going to take some time for you to do that if that's what you want to do. But they might just hire you. But make sure your stuff is amazing. Make sure it's on point. But if you do, but I don't see anything wrong with doing professional makeup for brides and party goers. I don't know. Were you just telling me something or were you asking me something? I'm just trying to understand. Sony, Momo, oh, Mom of Evan. Yeah, I love you guys' stuff. Where can you meet photographers that shoot beauty? Most only like to shoot clean looks. No, I mean, beauty runs the gamut. You have to look at their portfolio. You have to look at their work. Then you'll know what they shoot. Simple as that. Look at their look. They tell you what they do. This is why websites are so important. They tell you what they do. Websites explain to people who you are. That's why they're so important. Instagram can't do that. Instagram shows you pretty pictures, but Instagram, sometimes people take inspirational shots and put them on Instagram, and a lot of people just scroll and they don't realize that that's not their shot. You know what I mean? So you need to go discover them. You need to go check out their work. That's all. Then you'll know what they want. Cody, Dean. Oh, thank you, Cody. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Sony, I have a photo shoot with a magazine. Ooh, coming up. Okay, Cody. Okay, Sony. For the cover, and I'm really excited, but I want to use better quality, but the budget isn't there for me yet. So I thought I'd collect samples of products. Oh, I see what you're doing. Is there a reason why you're changing up what you are working on? Is there a reason why you feel that you need better quality? What does that mean? What does that mean in your head? Like, did you not get hired because you could do bomb ass makeup with what you have? I'm just asking. I'm not the one to tell you to buy something. That's just not me. You know, I mean, except for my palette inclusion. But I'm not going to be the one to tell you to run out there and spend extra money on things if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, unless there's something specific, Sony, that you want, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you to go out and buy La Mer if it's not necessary. If you've already gotten the gig, then that means you've done a very good job of what you have. Now, if you want the, funkiness, or you want something else to go along with it, that's different, But I'm just, she cheap. So I'm not one to be spending a lot of money on certain things. That's all. Okay. So, yes, people go on cruises and vacations all the time. Yeah, man. Camille, yeah, man. Hi, Thaishan. Hi, darling. Okay, thanks much. Yes, I was just telling you, my dream is to work on a set. A movie. Oh, Runway, that's my dream. That was my dream too, almost 20 years ago. And you know what, Danny? I was able to almost do it all. I have almost done it all. The only thing I haven't done, honestly, is work on a major motion picture because I'm not in the union. That's the only thing I haven't done. I've done TV, I've done fashion, I've done fashion runway, I've done production, I've done destination where I've been flown to certain places. I've worked with high-end celebrities. I've worked with a few that you want to forget. I have crap. I mean, I have keyed shows, I have hired you people, I have run shows, I have done design work. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. So if you want to do it, you can. You really can. Ah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Zara online makeup schools. This is where she starts to go. Oh, I'm so like this with them. I'm so back and forth with online makeup schools because I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, right? And I always feel it's so important to be present for my students. And I like to be physically with them because a lot of times what will happen is they'll hold a brush in a weird way, and that's why they can't seem to get the application done right because sometimes it's in the way that they're standing, holding a brush, whatever they're doing funky in terms of physicality. I need to see what you're doing so I can kind of go and adjust. A lot of times I adjust, like my people will be standing and I literally will adjust them as they're working. Like, no, stand this way. Um, that's my funk with those types of things. Now, if it's like an online class where they're showing you like steps like they do on YouTube, I don't really have a problem with those. But if it's a real in-depth, you know, type of course, it has to be set up where I feel that you should be able to ask questions on the spot. That's how I feel about it. Not these pre-recorded ones. I think you should be able to start to ask questions and like, I'm not understanding this, or that's where the funk comes in for me. But if it's just like a YouTube kind of thing, then sure, why not? I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with those. Nubian Princess, I got your palette at the makeup show. Yay! I met Nubian Princess at the makeup show. Makeup show. Where was we? DC. Uh, love it. I am having a little struggle on how much to use. Oh man, I should have shown you, but I mean, it's literally right here as I did my makeup. Unfortunately, the light is blowing me out and you cannot see all the goodness that I've done on my face because the light is literally blowing me out. So I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. You can tell this is my palette. How? Because I mix on the mirror for myself. So I'll just show you, I'll just pick a color. So can you see that? I just stuck my finger in there. So I want you to see it's going to cover the whole back of my hand. Do you see that? It's covering the whole back of my hand. It's hard to see in my light. I'm so sorry, but it's covering the whole back of my hand. So when you use this product, I use the dot method, where I literally will go on and dot makeup on and then clean it up, and put my makeup away. But I would use a dotting type method and then start to blend it in. A little bit of this goes a very long way. You should have this palette for an easy 6 months. You should not use this up. So when I say you understand how much you really should be using. You use very little. You start off, you use very, very little. So if you use this up, if I hear from you, Nubian Princess, and you say, I used your palette up in a month, I'm like, girl, you are heaping this makeup on. That's not the way to do it. It is a very light, not heavy. I'm not gonna say heavy because that's giving the wrong impression. It is, I don't want to say it's heavy and like, you're like, oh my God. It's not, it just covers beautifully. Unfortunately, you really cannot see. I can see it here that the whole back of my hand is covered, because I picked the wrong color. Let me pick a darker color. Wait. Why you pick a light color? Ain't nobody can see that. So I'll pick this one because I already used this one. So I'm picking this one. Doop. Let me just do it this way. So do you see how it got darker? So do you see how I was able to take that color, that's that color, and I was able to shear it out, right? So you can either put it on a little heavier and you get the color, and if you want, just shear it out. That's the second, wait, I got to do this way. That's the second application of that color on the back of my hand. And as you could see, and you saw what I just did, dot. I didn't do anything crazy, and I could literally probably go down my arm with this joint. Okay, I just physically gave myself a tan. And that was just 2 dots of makeup. So you don't have to go nutsy cuckoo with this. I promise you don't. A little bit. Okay, Camille, what about taking makeup classes at a hair show or a makeup show? Is it in depth? I used to do those. I used to do those, by the way, the classes at some of the shows. I was an educator for the makeup show when it used to come to, well, it still comes to New York. When I used to do it, I was an educator for the makeup show. I thought they were pretty in depth, as in depth as I can get. It depends on your teacher. I don't know who you're learning from, but most of the time I get a pretty decent education out of those. I know that for me, I had large classes. I happen to like really small, intimate classes when I teach. So when I teach, I have less than 12 people in my class. That's kind of how I like it. But you know what? Honestly, can I just be straight up? It's up to you to get your education. It sounds terrible. I know you're like, well, Deshawn, I pay my money. I want my education. Yeah, it is. The reason why I say that is because a lot of times I will have students who literally sit there in silence. Like, they don't ask me nothing. So I've taken it upon myself to always go around every class and I make sure I talk to every student and I have one-on-ones with every student. In those types of settings, it could be a little harder for them to do that as an educator, because there's so many people in a class. That's not to say you can't get an amazing education out of it. Of course you can. But I've always found that when there's so many people that you have to go up and get I would do this way. You paid your money, you better get your lesson. And so to me, I would just, if it were me and I was taking a class at any of these shows, I would make sure that I was a front seat and I would make sure that I would be ready with my questions. Do you understand? That's the only way you're going to get your money's worth. That's how I feel about it. Sorry, that's how I feel about it. But it also depends on the teacher and instructor. Some instructors do really amazingly well with very large venues. I had the biggest class I've ever had was 35 people, and I thought I was going to die at the end of it. I was exhausted because I literally spoke to every single one of them. And I went around and checked everybody's makeup, and I did that throughout the day, and I was exhausted. It depends on the teaching style of your teacher. So you need to do your homework on whomever you want to take a class from. I know when Danessa does classes, she's amazing at doing classes. So if you're going to take a Danessa Myrick's class at the makeup show, I would say you should do that. So there you go. Check out the reputation of your teacher. Darcy, makeup school was disappointing for me. Not enough hands-on experience, too much lecture. Wish I would have just taken that money and hired a local to teach me. And there we go. Well, Darcy, you just said it. Listen, I didn't have the greatest schooling either. I tell you all the time. I didn't really particularly care for my school, but I loved my teacher. And that was the difference. That's what it made the biggest difference in the world. My teacher was able to convey most of the stuff that I would be getting into. I prefer lecture because every school, I don't know what kind of school you went to, but if it is an accredited school, which is licensed or sanctioned or something by your state, there's a practical part in there. Practical means you're standing there and working and you're playing with makeup. I say play, but you're standing there and practicing what you learn, practical. And that's mandatory in school. So you guys understand that that's mandatory, that you have practice time in school, along with the lecture part. So if you only got lectured to and you didn't get the practical, I would look back and see if your school was accredited. Um, because you got to be careful about all of these things. See, it's the problem. There's so many schools popping up all over the place that, they claim this, they claim that, but nobody really researches these things. Not saying you didn't, Darcy, but I'm just saying that a lot of people just don't research, find out what they're getting into. It looks good. The website looks amazing, but it's a lot of times, I'm telling you, I've been to many of their sites. And because whenever a new school pops up, I'm like, oh, let me check it out. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Is bull. This is BS. And they're just getting you with pretty pictures. So that's just not for you, Darcy. You already went to school. So, whatever happened, happened. But for people who want to go to school, I went to school, invaluable for me. Even though I didn't like my school, the education I got was very important for me because film is a specialty craft. And I learned my craft. That's all I can tell you. They taught me is very good film makeup. But you really need to research the school. You need to research to see if they're accredited. You need to research the teachers that are in there, because they'll put teachers up there and they have never really walked into that school, but they are part of it. You know what I mean? You got to be careful with all that. You got to do your research when it comes to schools. But yes, what she just said was true. You could have hired a real local makeup artist to teach you. A lot of you guys, I don't understand it. Like, a lot of you guys don't do that. You want to learn, go hire a makeup artist to teach you. You have one. That's the thing about it. This is what always kills me. You have one-on-one with amazing teacher who can help you. But no, I don't know. I'm a little baffled by it. Darcy, I would have done the same thing. Had I thought about it back in the day, I probably would have tried to do that too. There are many of us who teach now private lessons and small classes. You should look into those. And I'm not talking to you, Darcy, because you already went through your hell. I'm talking to the others who are thinking about it. Newbie and Princess, pecan is my color. I love pecan too. I have it on like a little bit. Like I said, my light is blowing me out. You can't see it, but I actually, I'm very light, so I actually bronze up my skin, but you can't see it. But yeah, pecan, I love pecan. It's my favorite color. Pecan is like pecan is what I would use to like warm up people's skin and give them a bronzy, tanny kind of thing. I love that color. No, thank you for buying the palette, Miss Newbie Princess. Well, there is a, okay, wait a minute. Hair show in Philly. I don't know who to pick, and most of them are going to give you a certificate, and I don't want to be certified. Okay, well, can I just listen, when I teach, y'all don't get no certificates from me. I'm not giving out certificates. So the question is, well, why, Deshawn? I want to be certified by you. Certification from a Deshawn Hatcher, certification from anything that's not a accredited school. Hear me now, hear me later. Anything that's not an accredited school is simply a piece of paper with your name on it. Now, I can go smoke up your ass and I can say, hey, come take my class and I'm going to give you a certification. It means nothing. It means nothing. So don't be swayed by the word certification. It means nothing. Okay. Be careful of the word and the promise of a diploma at the end. It means nothing. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it took my loss. I hear you, girl. I know. I understand. Darcy, I totally understand. I totally understand. See, the thing about me, Darcy, is I started when I started when New York City, I'm a New Yorker. So when New York I started and there was like no film education that I could find anywhere in New York City except for this one place. And it happened to be a real cosmetology school. Okay. Now, if I were in the world that we are all in today with this crazy amount of come take my class, come take my class, come take my class, right? If I was in that, I would be confused too. And I would not know what to do. To be honest, I would not know what to do because there's so much. Now being in it, as long as I have, I can see BS a mile away. I can see bullshit a mile away with these schools, a mile away. You know, though I'm saying they have all these different ways of getting you to sign up. They'll show you teachers. I'm telling you that probably don't even teach in there, or they might teach, or they might have taught in the school once, and they'll hold on to their, their thing and keep it up. Oh, please. Oh, these schools do so much crap to get you guys to sign up. That's why I say you have to. There's on my blog, there is a blog article about going to school. If you're interested in going to school, please read that article. It's very important that you see what I say in there to cover your ass, so you don't waste your money nor your time. Of course, Camille, of course you can. You do whatever you want. Of course you can take the class. Yes, I just want you to understand, you told me you were getting some type of certification, and I wanted you to understand that means nothing. That's all. But sure, of course. Yeah, go ahead. If you feel, listen, if you feel that this class is going to help you, go ahead. Go ahead. But like I said, when I'm talking to you, or when I'm answering your guys' questions, I'm really answering you, and then I'm trying to kind of educate the masses at the same time. So, yeah. So, yeah, if you feel the class is going to help you in a technique or something, who gives a rat's ass about a certificate? Go take your class. Priscilla! Hi, Priscilla. Priscilla's an amazing teacher. See? Thank you, Priscilla. Wait a minute. I think I'm still waiting for my spinach dip, right? So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. School is amazing. I love school. I really do love school. I really do. I like learning. I really do. I'm an educator for now. Oh God, how long have I been teaching you people? I think I've been teaching now for about, oh my God, 15 years, maybe 12 to 15 years. And I still like to take education. I get a kick out of education. I still like to learn. So why not? Angie Perez, hey girl. There are so many certificates out there. They mean diddly squat. Thank you. They do. Don't get me wrong. I did camera for Dress Your Face. Didn't get a diploma, but learned her tricks. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I don't want you guys. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. Don't be swayed by a certificate. That's all. Because basically what will happen is they'll say to you, you're going to get a certificate from, I'm going to give you a certificate, which means, what does it mean? I can raise my prices now higher because I promised you a certificate. I want you to get it. I want you to hear me, because people will say, what's the difference between your non-certified class and your certified class? Well, in my certified class, you get a diploma and it proves that you've taken my class. So therefore I can charge you an extra $500. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just beware. I'm just trying to get you guys to beware of the certification that goes on in all of these things, the promises of certification. It truly, honestly, unfortunately, it means nothing. It just means you took the class. That's all. Like, okay, here, like when I'm a nail tech as well, right? So I do nails. I'm a makeup artist that does hair, but I am also a trained nail tech. I've been a nail tech since 1997. And when you take certifications in nails, that's different, because you normally get certified in things like anatomy and physiology, or you get certified in sanitation practices. Those are the things, right? Because I know in different areas people get certified. That's different. In this world, in the makeup world, so if you're like me, and if you do several different things and several different practices, like let's say you took your hair person and you took a cutting class from somebody and they wanted to certify you, that's different. In our world, it's a little off. So I just want to make that clear. It doesn't mean the same. Marilyn, hi Marilyn. I believe peeps should pay individual pro make bars to learn. Yep. Trade and techniques. That's what I did. No one cares about makeup schools in the States. Yeah, I mean, not because nobody cares. I think certain people do, care. I think some people might care if you have had formal education. Some people, not everybody. Okay. But some people might. I wouldn't poo-poo it because like I said, I really do believe in schools because I like the curriculum. And let me explain to you why I like school so much. It's the same reason why I don't like it when we guys are trying to learn how to be a makeup artist off of YouTube. And I explain to you because when you do that, when you're trying to put your world together, when you're trying to become a makeup artist, there's a set thing that you kind of really do have to learn how to do, right? And when you learn it in order, your world just gets a lot easier. And school has an order to it. That's all. And that's why I like the order. It's sort of like me. Like I have a lot of hats. Okay. So, because I'm a nail tech and I'm a hairdresser, but I'm also a professional retoucher. I know how to retouch. And so for many years, I was hired to retouch a lot of models, test shoots and stuff like that. And so I worked directly for many of the top modeling agencies here in New York City as a retoucher. Okay. So what does that mean? How did I learn? I learned on my own, right? I didn't take one class. Somebody said to me one day, "Hey, Deshawn, here's Photoshop. You want it?" I said, sure. Okay. Why not? Give it to me. And so I sat there and I learned by myself how to do Photoshop. Okay. So has it garnered me a lot? Yes. Can I fix my own stuff? Yes. Can I know when you fix your own stuff? Yes. But the funkiness is I learned out of order, right? So how I do things is not necessarily the right way to do it nowadays, or it's not the right, I might do 10 steps when I only need to do 2. So what I'm saying is like learning the way we do these days off of the YouTube is great and you get a lot of knowledge, but it's out of order. And a lot of times you need order, especially when you're starting. You need that kind of order. I don't have that kind of order. So if I have to work alongside another retoucher, right? They may do something and I'd be like, "Oh, what the hell is that? What is that?" You see what I'm saying? Because I did not learn in order. I'm a self-taught retoucher. I do things in the way I do them. There's an order to things sometimes in our world that we should stick to, and then you can disperse and do what you want. But this is what I'm saying. It's cool to be self-taught. I am in several areas, but at the same time, there's an order that goes along with it, and I want you guys to realize that. To picky and choosy and all that, you got to be careful with that. Sam Fine, Sean Vincent, Cosetti. I love Sam Fine. I love Sam Fine. I love Sam Fine. I love that man. Okay, Camille, how are hair and makeup shows allowing these people spots to teach if they are scams, basically? I didn't say that your particular show or whatever is a scam. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about overall schools. I'm not talking about your I don't even know where you're going. So I'm not talking about the stuff like the makeup show and stuff. No, they have real education. I just said if you're going to go take a class from Danessa, even Bethany, like they have real teachers. But I'm saying that there are certain schools out there that are scammy that you have to be careful of. That's all. But it's up to you. Remember, again, I keep saying this. I can I could tell you this water, right? This water right here is the greatest water in the world. In fact, when I drink this water, I am 20 years younger. In fact, you didn't know this, but I am 95 years old. But because I drink this water, I look like this. You get what I'm saying? Now, you can believe what I say, right? You can believe me, right? But if you did your research, you would know that this is $1 water out of Stop and Shop. It ain't doing nothing but keeping me satiated. But you see what I'm saying? And this is the growth. This is why YouTube has become so popular, because you get a lot of people spouting off stuff at you and they sound professional, but yet you don't look them up to see if they're telling you the truth. You don't look them up to see if their credentials are correct. You just listen to them. And that's another pet peeve of mine about that's one of the reasons why I started YouTube, is because I felt like there was not enough professional representation on YouTube. There's just not enough. You have a lot of people looking at you in this camera telling you they're professionals, and yet you can't find a thing on them. Nothing. That's, to me, in my mind, if you cannot, what did Judge Judy say? If I don't see it, it ain't real. If I don't see your professional career that you keep spouting off to me on your videos, then I'm not going to believe you. Show me your professional career. And a lot of you guys just follow these people blindly, and you wind up with this jacked up makeup, or you wind up with a stupid story or some BS that they want to tell you. And we professionals look at YouTube and go, that's not true. And but we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered here. There's not enough professional makeup artists on here. They will look at you, honey. They will say, I'm a makeup artist. And then I go look them up. There's nothing on these people. I'm talking about people who have millions of followers. Millions of followers. They'll tell you in the beginning of their career they were makeup artists. You guys just go poof. This is the same reason why people get scammed at schools. Same thing, because they'll say, poof, I'm a makeup school. Poof, don't you want to be here? It's glamorous. Nobody's doing their research. You got to do your research. So if you're going to take a class at one of these schools, whether or not schools, what did you say? Events. I'll say an event. Look up the educators. Look them up. Look them up past the bio that they want to show you. Look them up. You are paying your money. Look them up. You guys got to do your research, or you're gonna lose your money. I don't like losing my money. I'm very cheap. Sermon over. Okay. Marilyn, no, Marilyn, I ain't working New York Fashion Week. I'm sitting my ass here. I don't feel like it. I go through I go through moments where I'm like, I'm fiending to do it. Like, oh, I want to do it so bad. Oh. And then there's times I don't feel like it. And this has been a time that I just don't feel like it. Yeah. I don't have the Jones for it right now. I don't know if I will, but if I do, then I will put my feelers out to people and see if they need a team member, put my feelers out and see if they need a key artist, something like that. But no, I don't even watch sometimes. It's like, okay. Or I'll look at it online or something like that. Or I'll look up, I like to do the Harper's Bazaar always does this really nice backstage beauty segments that they put on. You just scroll through them just to see. Or my friends normally beat Harper's to it, and I get to see it online anyway. But no, I'm not jonesing to do it. Not this time. Probably not for a couple of years, probably. I'm just not interested in it. But it's fun, and I do enjoy it. I'm just not interested in it. I got an actual diploma in Australia. EJ, hi EJ, hi honey. And even that didn't help much, except to help me get into makeup retail. Oh yeah, that's right. Makeup retail. The retail people seem to like that certification, but again, that certification, even in the United States, has to come from an accredited school. You understand? Yes, I know many people who got a diploma and aren't moving forward. Just depends, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's EJ. It's like that thing that they say, in school. They always say this. Look to the left of you, look to the right of you. Several of you are not going to be here. You're not going to make it. I can tell you, I had a small class. I think I had like 12 people in my class many, many moons ago. And I believe there's only 3 of us still doing makeup. And I don't believe that most of them didn't. I don't even know why they were in that class. Nobody asked any real questions. When I asked questions, they got very annoyed and agitated with me. And I was like, yo, I didn't pay thousands of dollars to sit here and be quiet. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, a lot of times you guys take these classes and you don't say anything. You don't have any questions. You should be going to these classes, and especially we go into wherever you're going to, Camille, you should have a list of questions that you want answered. You really should. And if they don't hit it in that class, then you need to pull that person aside and say, can I ask you? Can I ask you this question? Can you show me this technique? You understand? But a lot of times, like I said, you guys just don't ask and you don't get. And a lot of times you don't even research the people. You need to start doing your homework. Don't start believing everything that is printed. You need to look people up. Yes, EJ. Oh, hello. What matters most, I think, is EJ thinks, is keeping an open mind and having the determination to learn. Exactly. This is exactly what I was saying, darling. You have to have that determination to learn, right? So what does that mean? Again, does that mean sit there and go, okay? No, raise your freaking hand and ask your questions. I say this all the time, even when I'm speaking at like the makeup show or I'm speaking at IMATs, right? Um, I'll say, because I always like to have a Q&A session when I speak. I just think it's important. It's great that you're there to watch me, but it's also important to me that I answer you, right? So I'll say, you got any questions? And it's like crickets. And I'm like, why are you here in a learning situation? If you don't have any questions, you should have questions. There should be a multitude of questions coming from you. And that's the determination to learn has got to be there as well. I'm extremely determined to learn. Got to be determined to learn. And if you just sit there and you're just going to have one of those kind of careers that's going to go bloop. Unprofessional usually get annoyed when unprofessional usually, what does that mean? Come back around, Angie. I'm confused. Unprofessional usually get annoyed when we ask questions. It puts them on the spot. People get annoyed when you ask a question. Child. I know. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they're annoyed. You paid your money. You get your answer. Get your answer. Did you not pay your money? I dare you to get annoyed. Don't get annoyed. Don't get annoyed. No, 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 no. No, they shouldn't get annoyed at you. Now, if they're in the middle, I will say this: if they're in the middle of something, like I've seen this happen to a lot of I wasn't there, but I was told this happened to Sam Fine a couple of times, and he was up there doing a demo, and he's talking and he's trying to describe something to you, and then somebody yells out, "What brush is that?" Yeah, that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about other things. Or if you want to know what brush it was, don't interrupt somebody when they're speaking and they're showing something. Live presentations is not YouTube. You know, it's a live presentation. They may have a specific way that they do things. Not every teacher is not every teacher teaches in the same style method like I do. Like I like questions and I don't mind, but some people do. But it doesn't mean that you can't get your question answered. It means that their style of teaching, you might throw them off completely. They may forget completely what they were saying. If you yell out, "What brush is that?" So wait until the end, raise your hand and say, "Can you tell me what brush that was you used?" Instead of interrupting. I've had many people, I've seen people interrupt people. That's not what I'm talking about. Yes, I just about to say something about that because some people do that. So should I limit my questions? Ooh, Camille, you asking the wrong girl because listen, when I tell you when I tell you how much my classmates hated me, when I tell you I can listen, they hated me. Why? Because I was like this. Can I ask another question? Can I ask you about this? Can I ask you about that? They hated me so much, and when it came for break time, they refused to sit with me. They refused to sit with me. They refused to sit with me. They didn't want to. They didn't want to sit with me. Only like two people sat with me. The other people, they were like, "I'm not sitting next to her." Blah 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 blah. Well, listen, I paid my thousands of dollars. I'm going to get everything I can out of this. If you want to sit back and play with makeup, then go right ahead. But I'm going to ask my teacher questions. That's how I feel about it. I don't know what to tell you. I I don't know what to tell you. If somebody's going to get agitated that you're asking a question, then in my mind, I would store that in my mind. And I would definitely let other people know who are interested in taking the class, that this person does not want to give information for whatever weird reason. They don't want you asking questions. That's not an educator in my book. An educator in my book will answer your questions. That's I don't, how else are you supposed to learn if you don't ask a question? So will they get annoyed? I don't really care. It's about your education. I'm sorry, it's about your education. Again, don't interrupt them. That's different. If I'm in the middle of speaking and you're like, "But can I ask you to?" That's different. But there's ways to ask your questions. Make sure they're pertinent to what they are teaching. Though a lot of people, I'll be teaching and they'll go off on a tangent and they'll go this way, and I'm like, whoa, 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 I'm not teaching that right now. I'll answer that at a later date, throughout the day or something, or come to me later with that question. I'm not teaching that. That's completely off subject right now. Let's come back to this subject because I don't want to throw the rest of the class off, nor do I want to spend time answering something that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm doing. So you understand? But you paid your money. I don't see why you can't ask. Listen, you're talking to the wrong person. I really believe in you need to ask your questions. And if it means just pulling the teacher aside when the class is over and asking you questions, then ask your questions. But I cannot understand why you can't ask questions. Like I said, I've never had a teacher that way, by the way. I've never had a teacher who did not, who got upset with me asking, and I ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot. I've never had a teacher mad at me about asking questions. I never had one go. I mean, if anything, they were more excited because they're more excited that I want to learn. I get excited off my students who want to learn. You understand? So for me, you're asking the wrong girl because I'm like this. Oh my God. Oh, EJ, I didn't feel embarrassed at all. I was like, listen, if you don't want to sit with me, that's okay. I don't care. Who cares? Listen, this is not high school. This is a profession. I am here to learn. I'm here to become a makeup artist. I'm not here to make friends with these people. It would have been nice if we could have been friends. Would have been nice if we could have been friends, but they didn't want to be my friend. And so I was like, listen, that's not my problem. That's your loss, not mine. And I'm going to be a makeup artist, period. I was going to be a makeup artist. And no, I didn't care. I didn't care. Who cares? I'm going to be a makeup artist, period. And I ask you today, where are they? They ain't nowhere to be found. So if you want to waste your thousands of dollars, you go ahead. That's on you. I was never embarrassed. Okay, EJ, I was never embarrassed. I was like, oh, because you have your little tray. Do. I mean, they were like, and I was like, oh, you don't want to sit with me? Okay. I tell you, I'm introvert. I don't need that. I needed my education. That's what I needed. I needed my education. I don't need to have lunch with you. I need my education. Yes, agreed. At my first school, I felt like that and ashamed, but now I don't because I know what I want for myself. Miss Camille, correct. You already know what you want. If your eye is on the prize, as we say in the Black community, your eye is on the prize, there's nothing that's going to stop you. There's no annoyance to the teacher that's going to stop you from learning. There's none of these students shunning you. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing was going to stop me from being a makeup artist. Nothing was going to stop me. I had friends and family thought I was nuts. Nothing was going to stop me. Nothing. I was going to be a makeup artist. I don't need to sit with you at lunch. I don't care if you get annoyed if I ask you a question. Nothing. Don't let anything stop you. But you do your homework. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, nowadays there's too much stuff coming at all of you guys. And there's a lot of lies. And I will say it. People are lying to you guys constantly. Constantly. I have conversations with the boyfriend. Boyfriend's not a makeup artist. He don't care. But he hears me screaming, this person's lying. That person's lying. They're not a makeup artist. Ah. He hears it. And now he knows. He even knows what to look for because I have ranted like a mad woman in here for so long. He's like, that person's not a makeup artist. That person, right? If you do your homework, you'll start to find the liars. If you do your homework, you start to realize certain things coming out of certain people's mouths just not true. You should do your homework. That's all. Well, I'm excited that this still is not the setup I want to do for my lives. It won't work. I can't get it to work. I spent an hour of my time trying to get it to work. But my mic is working and I'm not yelling at you. My new camera is working. My new computer's working. Yay. My new lights are working. Yay. So everything's cool. And I will be back next week with more. I don't know if it's going to be a topic or not. Y'all can ask me whatever you want, as always. Don't forget Assisting Rules is here at assistingrules.com. Don't forget that Inclusion, is here. Inclusion is by Graftobian, and it's sold all over the world. Yes, it is. I know it's trippy, right? And that's it. So if I'm getting off this thing, it's 8:30. As always, it's normally an hour to an hour and a half. If you are listening and you think these are too long, just plug your headset in and listen like it's a podcast. Life will go on for all of us. I will be back with video soon in October. And that's it. I just want to say good night. Wait, why are y'all asking me questions now that I'm leaving? What's your favorite topic to teach on hands? Speed. Darcy, speed. I believe in speed. Increase your speed. That's one of my favorite things to do. And beauty. And I like to teach speed class. I like to teach my woman of color class. And I like to teach my editorial fashion class. So those three are my favorites. You will see a new website come up. I know it's taken 5 years, but you will see a new website come up with all of those three classes on there. And yeah, you'll see that come up soon or later. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, Angie, I'm thinking about going to different locations. You guys keep asking me, so we'll see. You asked me, but we need a certain amount of people in the class in order for me to bring my behind to wherever. But I'll discuss that another day because I don't feel like doing it now. But yeah, like I said, I'm out of here. You guys have a beautiful night. And thank you for coming. I appreciate that. And don't forget to like this joint. Give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments below. I'll read them later and I'll answer you back. So have a good night, people. Bye.